Now let us work on another function called HLookup. Now just as the VLOOKUP works for vertical format of data, HLookup helps you get the relevant value, or it lookups for data in a horizontal format. So in this table, we could also make best use of the VLOOKUP function in case if you want to get corresponding values based on the region wise. Let's say look up for the region and return the values for fluorescent lights or the FL. You might just want to select this range and give the return column code as number 3, and it gives you the result. But now in case of HLookup, I would want to get the corresponding product wise values for a specific region. Now let's say how this works. Now HLookup, lookup value, table array, row index number, and range lookup. So what am I looking up for? I want to look up for, let's say, FL. So I would put FL for now over here. Now since it's a text, I put it in double quotes. So table array, I can select the entire table and that's absolutely fine. Or you can just select as much as you want. Let's say I want to select for West. If this is the selection that I have, then West does not feature in this list, right? Because how many rows have we covered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And West features in the 6th row and it's outside the range. Hence, it will return an error for you. Let me show you the error. If I select this and it asks for row index number, I select 6 and I want an exact match. Close the brackets. It gives a #ref error. Now it gave you a #ref error because you're referring to something which does not exist in the selected list. Hence, it gives you a #ref error. Make a note of that. Similarly, in the VLOOKUP function, if you are selecting a number of lists, let's say we have 5 columns here, and if you want to return the result from a 6th column or the 0th column, okay, you give the value as 0 or anything beyond this range, it will result in a #ref error. So let me just expand the selection again completely. Yes, we have this. And now I want the FL sales for West region. So I hit enter and here we have this 235. That's perfect there. Now let's say here I put an input cell. I want to know the total sales of LEDs. So I say HLookup LED, or here LED, comma, table array, row index number. Now where do we have the total sales? We have row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7th row is where we have. So 7, range lookup, exact match, and close the bracket. Here we have that. Now here you need to be careful whether you want to use the HLookup or the VLOOKUP. Now if I need the product wise totals, HLookup solves it because I have a name of a product and I need the totals. But if I want region wise total, then let's say that's for Southeast. So then I need to use the VLOOKUP function because then I select this range, look up for Southeast in this column. Okay, that's the region wise total. And this is how we work with this. And here I say, let's say here I select West. Okay, so in this case, we use the VLOOKUP function. Look up for what? West in this range. And if you get the right, if you find West in this list, then give me the totals. And totals is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th column. Close the brackets by selecting exact match and you get it. See the total sales of the West. And this is how you play with the HLookup and the VLOOKUP. Now, just like the VLOOKUP, HLookup also searches in whatever value that you're looking for in the first row. So ensure that you have this LEDs over here. If you were to have this LEDs over here down, it would lead to a #n error. Why? Look at this range. If I were to select this range, something like this, It will try to search for C12, that is LED, in the first row, and we know that LED is nowhere appearing in the first row. Hence, it will give a hash any error. Let me undo this, and here we have. Now, so far, whatever we achieved with the help of the VLOOKUP function and the HLOOKUP function, that is also achievable with the help of the index and the match function. A good synchronization between the two functions just helps us achieve the same result. But first, let me tell you about the match function. Now, what is the match function? If I were to select equal match, what does it say? It says returns the relative position of an item in an array that matches a specified value in a specified order. That means if you're looking for a particular value, it will tell you its position, where exactly is it located. For example, in this match function, I want to locate number 70. So I just put number 70, look up for this list, and match type, well, you can select accordingly, less than, exact match, greater than. As of now, it's an exact match. I know it's there. So I hit enter, and you see it's number 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's fourth on the list. Now, what if I'm not doing exact match, but I'm doing an approximate one, like less than? And instead of 70, I select 72. I hit enter. It returns number 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it still returns that value. Now, what if this was 82? I missed on the bracket here. It's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 5th position. Now, that's how the match function works. In a match function, you can either select a row or a column. For example, let's try something more. Now, instead of manually entering numbers here, I would use this point as a reference here. And now using the match function, first here, what I'm looking for was, let's say 82. Here we have this, okay, the position number. It's 5 in the list here. Now, what if I would have selected the headings as well? Then the 82 would now be in position number 6. It's number 6 in the selection list, including the headings. So be very careful when you're including the headings and when you're excluding the headings. At times you might want to include the headings, at times it's better not to include them. Now let us try something more. I want to know the position for FL in this list. So I say match for FL in this range and give me an exact match. This time I cannot afford any leniency here. It should be an exact match. Hit enter and you see position number 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Of the 5 brackets, it's the 3rd position. If I were to change this to CFL, it's position number 2. What if it was region total? Position number 5. But what if it was only region? It's position number 1. That's it. And this is how the match function works. So be it, good. But how can it achieve whatever we achieved with the help of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP? Hold your horses. Like I mentioned, we have a match function which helps us determine the position number, or we can also use the term as index number. Now, index number is very much to Excel. Position number is like what we say of the selection in this list. It is on the 5th position, 6th position or so. This is quite a layman talk, but for Excel, it's index number. So match function returns the index number for the value that you're searching for. Now, what about the index function? Now, index function returns the value in a given position or index number. Okay, so we have something like index. There are 2 ways to use the index function. First is select the range, the array, and specify the row number and the column number. Now column is in square brackets. That's optional because in index function you can select an entire matrix or you can just select just one column. That's absolutely fine. Index function is flexible in that terms. But in case of match function, well, you either select an entire column or you select an entire row. So here, let's say we select this, comma. Now it's asking for row number. Let's say I'm looking for the totals of Southeast. So Southeast is in which row? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's on the 4th row, comma, column number. I want the totals which is on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th column. Enter the value, close the brackets, hit enter. Well, you see, Southeast 850. That's the region total that we get. And this is how the index function works. The only thing is here we are manually entering the values. Now, even if we were to use cell reference over here, this is not dynamic because we are using this manually. Let's say this over here and 5 will be over here. Now, in 2019, if you the row number and column numbers, Excel might consider this as an array and will show this back again. Don't be bothered. This is a spill error. You just enter the right numbers here and it will be fixed. So we say 4 and 5. And we have this here, wherein the red cell was the row reference and the purple one was the column reference. Alright, so we spoke about the match function and we spoke about the index function, but how do they help us achieve what the VLOOKUP can do? That's still not answered. Well, let me show you how that works. The blend of the match function and the index function works out. Remember, the index function needs row number. Now, when you say row number and column number, this is technically the position that it's asking for. And this is what the match function is doing. Let me show you over here. We say equals index. Okay, now within the index function, we say select this entire range. Mind you, I'm excluding the headings over here. So if I'm using the match function, I will also exclude the headings. Otherwise, it might cause trouble. Now index, this is the array, comma. Now it's asking for row number. Now I do not know which row does this belong to, right? 72.5 in this list over here. I don't know which row should it be belonging to. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4. But that means it's between 4 and 5. So which grade should it show up? That is what we need to mention here. Let me just shift this aside over here. So we have index array. I select this entire range, comma, row number. To determine the row number, I'll make use of the match function, match lookup value. Lookup for 72.5, lookup array. I want to look up in this particular column, in this column of scores over here. And match type, it's okay to be exact, less than match. There's no point of having a greater than match. It will return an error. So we need a less than match. Close bracket. So match function is complete. Now it's asking for column number. Now we know that the grades are in the second column. So we can manually enter number 2 here. Of the index function, the array selected over here of these 2 columns, grades are in the second column. You just select that and hit enter and you have this. 72.5, it's the C grade. Now generally, whenever I work on complex structures and it's too difficult, first thing what I try to do is I first make use of the match function to see if the position is correct. For example, I'm looking up for 62.75. Where are you looking for? I'm looking in this list and I want a less than match in this case and close the bracket. Is it falling under the third position? Yes, it's between 60 and 70. Okay, now what if it was not less than but greater than? It might give me an error. Here it is, right? It's a hash in error, so be very careful. what you select over here. Exact match will also give you the same error because it's not visible here in that list. So we say less than match. That's number 1. Hit enter. And once I would like to cross verify if the number is fitting into, if I'm getting the right position for this number. Yes, I am. Why am I cross verifying? Well, in case if I'm working on humongous data, there's a huge list over there. It's always good to manually cross verify if the position is correct, because once you have it proper, once or twice you manually check in 2 different places, then you can rest assured that your formula that you have prepared is working as designed to be, as meant to be. So first I check the match function. With the help of match function, I check the position, which seems perfect. Then I encapsulate this within the index function.